Have you ever wondered what happens when you stop touching the one person who has been with you through every joy, every heartbreak, every moment of growth and survival yourself? As we age, life often demands that we adapt, that we let go of things we once held dear. Mobility changes, friendships shift, loved ones come and go, dreams evolve. Yet one quiet and sacred connection remains within our grasp for as long as we choose to honor it, the connection with our own body, with our own life force. But for so many seniors, this private bond slowly fades away, not because it must, but because of old beliefs, silent fears, or simply forgetting the extraordinary power that still lives within. Touch, pleasure, connection. They become memories rather than living experiences. And when this part of life slips away unnoticed, something profound is lost, not just a physical sensation, but a reminder of who you are. A vibrant being still worthy of care, attention, and joy. This is not a conversation about lust. It is about life itself, about preserving circulation, maintaining hormonal balance, strengthening emotional resilience, and honoring the dignity of your existence at every stage. In this journey we are about to take together, I will show you why letting go of this connection could quietly steal from you the vitality, peace, and groundedness that you deserve to carry into every chapter of your life. Stay with me, because what you will discover is not only scientifically true, but also deeply human. The choice to reconnect with yourself may become one of the most powerful acts of healing you ever offer to your aging spirit. Let us begin. As we grow older, we often hear about the importance of exercising our bodies and keeping our minds sharp. But there is another form of exercise that is rarely discussed, even though its absence can quietly create deep physical decline. When seniors stop engaging in self-intimacy, the body responds in a way that many do not expect. Blood flow to the pelvic area decreases. Tissues that once remained soft, responsive, and elastic begin to atrophy. For men, reduced circulation can lead to discomfort, loss of sensitivity, and even increase the risk of prostate congestion. For women, it can mean increased dryness, irritation, and a painful sense of disconnection from their own bodies. This is not merely about desire, it is about maintaining healthy tissues and circulation. Just like an unused joint becomes stiff and painful, the tissues in the pelvic area can lose vitality without regular stimulation. Without blood flowing freely, without muscles gently exercising, parts of the body essential to comfort and confidence begin to fade in function. Within just a few months of stopping this simple self-connection, many seniors notice discomfort they cannot explain, a shift in how their body feels, how it responds, and unlike youthful recovery, restoring these functions later becomes much more difficult. Regular self-intimacy, even just once or twice a week, helps maintain the delicate balance of sensitivity, elasticity, and healthy blood circulation in the body. It keeps tissues responsive. It supports comfort during daily activities. It even helps prevent infections and complications related to stagnant blood flow. If you think of brushing your teeth or stretching your legs as basic forms of maintenance, think of this as no different. A small, private ritual of care. A reminder to the body that it is still alive, still capable, still important. When this practice is neglected, the results are not immediate, but they are certain. Loss of function, increased discomfort, and a subtle erosion of quality of life follow. But when you choose to maintain this connection, you are choosing health. You are choosing to stay vibrant in a way that no external medicine or therapy can replace. Your body listens to what you do with it. It remembers. And it thrives when you honor it with presence, with kindness, and yes, with touch. Yes. Beyond the physical changes, there is an even quieter loss that happens when self-intimacy disappears from an older adult's life. It is the emotional toll of disconnection. At first it may seem small, a slight lack of interest in one's appearance, a growing sense of being invisible, a feeling that life is happening at a distance rather than from within. When you stop engaging with your own body, you risk forgetting that you're still fully alive inside it. The world becomes something you observe rather than participate in. Masturbation is often misunderstood as being purely about physical pleasure, but at its core it is an act of emotional affirmation. It says, I still belong to myself. I still have agency over my own comfort, my own body, my own joy. Without it, loneliness can deepen, anxiety can quietly grow. Emotional flatness may begin to replace the vibrant connection you once had with yourself and with others. This disconnection does not announce itself loudly. It creeps in slowly but steadily. It makes you less likely to seek out friendships. It makes conversations feel a little less engaging. It dulls the bright edges of joy and heightens the dark corners of worry. For some, this emotional numbness turns into isolation. They stop reaching out. They stop saying yes to invitations. They stop feeling like a part of the living world around them. But when self-connection remains, something beautiful happens. There is warmth in the way you move. There is softness in the way you speak. There is a glow of dignity and presence that others can sense even before you say a word. This emotional resilience is not built overnight. It is nurtured in small, private acts of kindness toward yourself. It is built every time you choose to honor your own needs rather than silence them. It does not matter how old you are. Your body is still your home. Your spirit still craves connection. And the simple, private act of self-intimacy is one of the most powerful ways to maintain that bridge between your physical being and your emotional life. When you cherish yourself in this way, you invite others to cherish you too. You radiate something that no wrinkle, no gray hair, no frailty can diminish. You radiate life. While emotional well-being is a profound benefit, there is another critical aspect that often goes unnoticed until it becomes a crisis. And that is prostate health for older men and circulatory support for both men and women. Let us start with the prostate. This small gland plays a massive role in male health, yet many men rarely think about it until problems arise. One of the most overlooked ways to protect prostate health is regular ejaculation. When sexual activity stops completely, including masturbation, the prostate can begin to stagnate. Fluids accumulate, inflammation becomes more likely. Over time, this can lead to conditions like prostate congestion or benign prostatic hyperplasia, often causing urinary issues, discomfort, and increased trips to the bathroom during the night. Medical research consistently shows that regular ejaculation helps to clear out old fluids, improve blood flow to the area, and maintain the health and function of the prostate. Ignoring this simple act is not about modesty. It is missing an easy form of preventive care. And the longer this area goes without stimulation, the harder it becomes to restore its former health. Women, too, benefit physically from maintaining blood circulation in the pelvic area. Without regular sexual stimulation, women may experience increased dryness, reduced elasticity, and a general sense of discomfort that worsens with time. Good blood flow is crucial for tissue health at every age. When circulation diminishes, it affects sensitivity, lubrication, and overall pelvic health. Maintaining some form of regular sexual stimulation, even in small ways, helps preserve these tissues. It keeps blood flowing, keeps oxygen reaching every corner of your body, and supports comfort and function long into later years. Beyond the physical benefits, this small act also supports a more active and energetic lifestyle. It keeps you more attuned to your body's needs, more aware of what feels good, and more capable of noticing early signs if something changes. It is a quiet form of self-monitoring that can alert you to new health issues before they become bigger problems. Caring for these parts of your body is not indulgent. It is wise. It is preventive. It is a form of self-respect that says, I am still worth caring for from head to toe. Prostate health, pelvic vitality, circulation support, all of it ties back to the simple truth that attention, even in solitude, strengthens you from the inside out. The conversation around masturbation in older age often centers on physical benefits, but what many do not realize is the profound impact it has on hormonal balance and emotional stability. Every time you engage in self-pleasure, your body releases a cascade of essential chemicals. These include dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, and prolactin. These are not just feel-good hormones, they are the foundation of emotional resilience, mental clarity, and deep rest. Dopamine boosts motivation and sharpens focus. It helps you feel alive, interested, and engaged with your surroundings. Without regular dopamine release, days can begin to blur into each other, and emotional flatness may quietly settle in. Oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, is released during moments of intimacy. Even when alone, producing oxytocin fosters a sense of warmth, calm, and emotional connectedness. It helps counteract feelings of loneliness and isolation that can creep in during the aging process. Endorphins act as natural pain relievers. They lower physical discomfort, ease tension in the body, and bring a sense of lightness that can make a hard day feel manageable again. Prolactin helps regulate sleep and restore energy. It promotes a restful night, supports cellular repair, and strengthens immune response. Sleep becomes deeper, more refreshing, and less fragmented, which is crucial for maintaining both body and mind in later years. When you stop engaging in this intimate self-care, you deprive yourself of these natural benefits. It is not immediate. It is a slow fading, a gradual emotional dulling that you might not notice at first until life feels a little heavier, a little grayer, and a little harder to move through. Reintroducing self-pleasure into your routine is not about chasing youthful feelings. It is about nurturing the emotional infrastructure that supports your dignity, your vitality, and your sense of joy. It is a way of telling your mind and your body, I am still here. I am still worthy of feeling good. Hormonal balance is not a luxury. It is a necessity for a full, rich life, even at 60, 70, or beyond. When you care for your inner chemistry, you give yourself a powerful advantage against the emotional and physical stresses that come with aging. You deserve to feel stable, strong, and alive inside. You deserve to have a mind and heart that still vibrate with hope, curiosity, and peace. The smallest habits, practiced with love and consistency, can shift everything. For many seniors, aging brings with it a quiet fear, the belief that intimacy must end when relationships do. A spouse may pass away. Physical closeness with a partner may fade due to health challenges. Some may find themselves living alone with emotional and physical needs quietly pushed aside, but intimacy does not require another person. Intimacy begins with you. Masturbation, often misunderstood, becomes, in this stage of life, a powerful act of self-compassion. It reaffirms that connection to your own body, your own spirit, and your own emotions is still possible. It tells you that you're still whole. You are still capable of tenderness, of pleasure, of presence. Even if no one else is in the room, you are never truly alone when you maintain a relationship with yourself. Far from being a replacement for partnership, self-intimacy is a declaration of independence. It says, my worth is not dependent on another's touch. My ability to feel joy is not conditional on someone else's presence. Maintaining this closeness with yourself has emotional benefits that ripple outward. It can prevent this deep sense of loneliness that so often shadows the later years. It keeps the heart open. It keeps the spirit soft and receptive. It allows you to stay connected to the emotional landscape within you, one that still longs for connection, tenderness, and self-affirmation. Imagine the power in waking up each day and knowing that you are enough, that your body, though changed, still has the capacity for comfort, for joy, and for a soft kind of love that needs no outside validation. This does not erase the grief of lost relationships. It does not minimize the real ache that absence can leave, but it gives you a bridge back to yourself. It offers a steady place to stand when everything else feels uncertain. True intimacy is not about youth. It is not about flawless bodies or grand gestures. It is about presence, attention, and the willingness to be with yourself fully and without shame. When you reclaim this right to intimacy, you reclaim a vital part of your humanity. You remind yourself that life is not just about surviving. It is about feeling, about savoring, about continuing to embrace the beauty of being alive, even in solitude. Because in the end, the deepest relationship you will ever have is the one you nurture within your own soul. Throughout their lives, many older adults have carried a heavy burden placed on them by culture, family, or religion. It is the burden of shame surrounding their own bodies, their own desires, and their own need for touch and intimacy. From early years, the messages were clear. Good people do not talk about such things. Respectable adults do not admit to needing comfort from their own hands. As a result, many grew up pushing those natural needs deep down, burying them under layers of guilt and silence. But here is the truth. That shame was never truly yours to carry. It was taught to you. It was handed down from generation to generation like an invisible chain, tightening around the most human parts of your spirit. Now, in this season of life, you have the chance to break that chain. Self-intimacy is not something shameful. It is not a weakness. It is an act of courage. It is an act of honoring the body that has carried you through every chapter of life, through every joy and sorrow. When you release the old beliefs that told you your body was something to ignore or hide, you create space for something much richer. You create space for peace, for acceptance, for dignity. You give yourself permission to feel without judgment, to exist without apology, to experience comfort and pleasure as your birthright, not as something you must earn or hide from. Letting go of shame is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to who you were always meant to be, a person who can look at themselves with kindness, a soul who can touch their own skin without flinching or feeling guilt. A heart that knows it is still worthy of tenderness, even from itself. Shame isolates, it builds walls around the heart, but self-acceptance tears those walls down, brick by brick, until you are free to feel fully alive again. Imagine walking through your days without carrying that invisible weight. Imagine sleeping at night without the quiet ache of self-denial. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing not just an aging body, but a living, breathing testament to resilience, beauty, and worth. You are not too old to rediscover yourself. You are not too old to reclaim joy. And you are certainly not too old to live without shame. You deserve a life of softness, a life of self-acceptance, a life where your body and spirit are honored without fear. This is your time, your moment to return home to yourself. Now that you understand the deep importance of maintaining a connection with your own body, let us talk about how to approach it with care, dignity, and respect. Just as your body has changed in other ways over the years, so too has your experience of touch and sensation. What worked decades ago may feel different now. That is not a failure. It is simply the natural progression of life. The key is not to chase the past, but to honor the present. First, create a comfortable, private space where you feel relaxed and safe. Your environment matters. Soft lighting, calming music, and even a warm blanket can make all the difference in helping you feel at ease. Second, give yourself permission to take your time. There is no goal to reach, no rush to finish. The purpose is presence, not performance. Breathe deeply. Let your body guide you rather than your mind racing ahead. Using a gentle lubricant can be very helpful, especially if you experience dryness. Choose one that is free from harsh chemicals, and do not hesitate to experiment with different types until you find what feels best for you. Comfort is the priority. For men, slow and steady stimulation is key. It is about feeling connected, not about forcing a response. For women, soft touch, light pressure around sensitive areas, and even simple massage over the body can reawaken a sense of pleasure and presence. It is also important to listen to your body afterward. Ask yourself, do I feel calmer, more grounded, more connected? These feelings are beautiful signs that you are caring for yourself in a meaningful way. Remember, there is no right or wrong. There is only what feels respectful and nurturing to you. Practicing self-intimacy regularly, even once or twice a week, can support your mood, circulation, immune system, and overall emotional resilience. It can ease loneliness, lift anxiety, and remind you that you are still very much alive in every important way. There's no shame in giving yourself this care. In fact, it is one of the most powerful acts of self-love you can offer yourself in later life. Be gentle with yourself. Approach this time as a sacred ritual, a moment where you are both giver and receiver of kindness. You deserve comfort, you deserve connection, and you deserve to honor your body not just in memory of who you were, but in celebration of who you are now. You're not just surviving these years, you are still living them fully, deeply, and beautifully. We have talked about the beauty of maintaining your connection to yourself. But it is equally important to understand what happens when this part of your health is neglected. Ignoring your need for touch, pleasure, and intimacy does not just disappear without consequence. The effects seep quietly into your body, your emotions, and even your long-term health. Physically, when there is no regular stimulation, blood flow diminishes, leading to tissue dryness, loss of elasticity, and in some cases, pain during simple movement. For men, a stagnant prostate becomes more vulnerable to swelling, infections, and serious complications later in life. For women, the muscles of the pelvic floor can weaken, increasing the risk of incontinence and decreased sensation. Without maintaining this part of your body, recovery becomes slower. What could once have been gently preserved through small, regular acts of self-care may require medical intervention if left unattended for too long. Emotionally, the loss is even more profound. Without moments of private connection, the brain misses the release of vital hormones that help regulate mood, sleep, and emotional stability. Over time, you may notice yourself becoming more anxious, restless, or even depressed, without understanding why. Small irritations may loom larger. Loneliness may creep in more heavily. The absence of self-intimacy can leave a person feeling emotionally disconnected, not just from their body, but from life itself. It's not about needing a partner. It is about needing yourself. Ignoring these needs can also impact your self-image. When you no longer feel desirable to yourself, you may begin to withdraw socially, stop caring about appearance, or feel invisible even among loved ones. This emotional distance makes it harder to maintain the warmth and openness that supports strong family bonds and friendships. Perhaps the saddest consequence is the gradual loss of personal dignity. When you stop treating your body as worthy of touch, care, and attention, it sends a powerful and harmful message to your spirit. It says you no longer matter. That could not be farther from the truth. You matter at every age. Your body, though different, is still deserving of care. Your emotions, though tempered by experience, still deserve expression. Your spirit, seasoned by the years, still deserves moments of pure joy. Neglecting yourself does not protect you. It only deprives you. You still have the power to nourish yourself, to stay connected to your vitality, and to experience moments of profound self-love. It starts with a simple decision, a decision to say yes to yourself again. As you stand here now, wiser, seasoned, and filled with the memories of a life well lived, you face a choice. You can let old fears, outdated beliefs, and misplaced shame continue to dictate how you treat yourself. Or you can choose a new path, one filled with self-respect, care, and quiet celebration of the life that still flows through you. Masturbation is not about clinging to youth. It is about embracing the beautiful truth that you are still alive, that your body, though it carries the marks of time, is still yours. It is about honoring yourself, your history, your emotions, and your future with the tender attention you have always deserved. In a world that often tells older adults they should become invisible, that they should accept decline without protest, your willingness to nurture yourself becomes an act of quiet rebellion. A declaration that your life, your comfort, your pleasure, and your connection to your own body are sacred and worth fighting for. You are not a shell, you are not just a collection of medical appointments and memories. You are still here, still growing, still capable of tenderness, joy, intimacy, and beauty. Touching yourself, exploring your own comfort and desires is not shameful. It is profoundly human. It is a continuation of the relationship you have always had with your own spirit, the one that laughed at sunsets, wept at weddings, and held loved ones close. It is never too late to reconnect with yourself. It is never too late to rediscover the small sacred acts that remind you that you are not only surviving, but living. If this topic has been hard for you to hear, know that you are not alone. If guilt or fear rises when you think about treating yourself with kindness, know that you can release those burdens now. They were never truly yours to carry. You deserve more. You deserve to feel alive. You deserve to sleep with peace, to rise with strength, and to move through your days knowing that you are still a vibrant, whole, precious being. Your body, your mind, your spirit, they are all still listening. And every time you make the choice to honor yourself, even in private, unseen ways, you whisper something powerful back to the world. You whisper that life does not end at a certain age. It continues in smaller, quieter, but no less important ways. You whisper that love, dignity, and joy are not reserved for the young. They belong to all who dare to claim them at every stage of life. Today, you have the chance to begin again, to look in the mirror, not with judgment, but with gentleness, to reach for yourself. Not with shame, but with reverence, to live fully, completely, unapologetically, because you, exactly as you are today, are still worth every bit of love and joy the world has to offer. And it begins within you.